Hello, my name is Nani and welcome to my channel where I share with you my top tips on how to look good, feel good, and smell good from the inside out. In today's video, we are doing another exclusive fragrance review. This one is going to be on kind of like a very talked about fragrance in the YouTube community, which is Tom Ford's Noir pour Femme. I want to go ahead and share with you guys my thoughts on what this smells like, if I feel like the hype is real, if it's something that's going to stay in my collection, and how long the fragrance actually lasts on the skin. So of course, if you guys want to hear my thoughts on this scent, make sure that you go ahead and give me a big thumbs up and of course subscribe to my channel for more. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Now, jumping right into this video, the reason that I wanted to pick this up is because I am looking to add more kind of like deeper, heavier scents, especially for the winter time. I do have maybe 2 or 3 scents that I typically gravitate towards during the winter time, and I wanted to see if this would be another one, especially because I've also heard a lot of people mention that this is a great or sexy date night scent as well, and so that's the reason that I wanted to pick it up. Is it something that I feel is my cup of tea? Not really, and the reason I say that is because it is a heavier scent. This does have a kulfi note, which is an Indian dessert, and so it does give you kind of like those gourmand nuances. But to me, on my skin, it smells a little bit too heavy for me. The first time that I tested it out, I immediately got a headache, and that doesn't really happen to me quite often. And so when I had this experience with this fragrance, I was like, okay, no, this is obviously not for me. It was still on my skin. So I was like, you know what, let me just allow this thing to dry down since I already have a headache anyways. I'm just gonna allow it to dry down just to see if I like maybe the dry down a little bit better, or just to see how it transitions on the skin. And I have to say that the more that it lasts on your skin, it does kind of tone down a little bit more. So it's not as heavy as when you first spray the fragrance itself, but it still wasn't a fragrance that I thought that I would really enjoy. There was nothing about it that felt sexy to me. It is a very deep, intense, rich, creamy type of scent. And so if you are looking for something like that, it is one that I would recommend that you try. It kind of is similar to the richness and the intensity of Dior Addict. They don't smell the same, but they are kind of like in the same type of family. If you're looking for a little bit of a deeper, richer, slightly indolic type of white floral scent that has a little bit of gourmand nuances, this is pretty much what this fragrance is. The kulfi note, like I mentioned, is very prominent on the skin. It's very strong, and it also has some woody elements to this scent. And to me, when I first sprayed it, it did smell a little bit kind of like synthetic, a bit like maybe gasoline or something like that. I don't know what it is, but there's a note in here that just turned really bad on my skin, which is why I'm not going to be keeping this fragrance. But it is one that I feel like a lot of people would enjoy, and I understand why a lot of people talk about this scent. If you've tried Dior Addict and you were like, this is not my cup of tea simply because it's more heavy on the white florals, this might be another alternative, just because it has kind of a similar vibe, but it does have some similarities, especially when it started drying down on my skin. It does have some similarities to Tom Ford's Black Orchid. And I've mentioned to you guys, for Tom Ford Black Orchid, there's something about it that smells like sharpened pencil shavings. And so it's not heavy in this scent, but as it was starting to dry down, I kind of spotted the similarities between those two scents, which I'm not surprised is obviously Tom Ford. But then again, the more that it dried down, those heavy gourmand nuances definitely comes through. You get the vanilla, you get the kulfi, you get kind of like the intense richness of the scent, which again would be perfect for fall and winter seasons. But in comparison to Dior Addict, because they are kind of in a similar family, in my opinion, I prefer Dior Addict. I don't know if I'm being biased because I'm obsessed with Dior as a fragrance house in general, but I feel like that one is a little bit more on the elegant, classy side. This one is definitely very intense, very much in your face. It's very loud. Again, it has those woody, white floral, gourmand, dessert type of nuances in this fragrance, which I enjoyed, the longer that it dried down on my skin, but at the same time, the opening, as I mentioned, smells a little bit too heavy on my skin. It's not as refined as Dior Addict in my opinion, and so it just isn't something that works for me personally. Is it one that I would recommend? Absolutely. It does last on the skin for about 6 hours, 6-7 hours or so, so the longevity isn't necessarily the best, and I actually find that a lot of Tom Ford fragrances are like that. And it's interesting because the price tag is, you know, pretty high, but a lot of their fragrances are not like beast mode in my opinion, not at least on my skin. So 6-7 hours is pretty much around the time frame that you'll get on this, but for those hours you're definitely going to be cocooned in the scent. It's going to pretty much wrap itself around you, leave a scent trail behind you, and it definitely is a heavily projecting scent, and so you definitely will get compliments. It is one of those kind of like sexy date night type of fragrances as well, and it is one of those scents that if you are going out with, let's say, your girls or whatever it is, and you're doing a girls night out and you're trying to dress, you know, real sexy or whatever the case may be, or a leather jacket moment, it definitely will serve its purpose. It's heavy, it's woody, it's sexy, it's deep, it's intense, it's rich, but again, I don't think it's as refined as I would like. And there's a note in there that just really turns me off, which is why I'm not keeping this fragrance in my collection, but it is one that I would recommend that you guys try. But those are pretty much my thoughts on this scent. Let me know if you guys have this, if this is one of your favorites, and if you agree with kind of my take on what this smells like, especially in the opening. I would love to hear your thoughts down below. And also let me know what your favorite Tom Ford fragrance is. I would love to hear from you guys for that as well. But again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, make sure that you go ahead and give it a big thumbs up, and of course subscribe to my channel for more. I hope you guys are staying safe. God willing, I'll see you guys next time.